The British Grand Prix is here and Silverstone has 5 British drivers on the grid. Can Ferrari bounce back and give Hamilton a shot at a historic 10th British Grand Prix win? Are Red Bull's upgrades legit enough for Max Verstappen to spoil the party? And let's not forget Mercedes, the inter-team battle continues. 5 Brits, sprint chaos, Silverstone pressure. Let's get into it. G'day F1 fans and welcome back, Mick. It's good to see that you haven't melted away in the hot European sun, although you do have a tinge of red. Clearly a little sun-kissed over there, over in Belgium. You did go to the Spa 24. Give us a quick rundown on that. How was it?
To anyone that's interested in GT racing, it's, the circuit itself, man. There's something about a racetrack in the forest. It certainly exceeded my expectations, but I'm ready to swap the tin top for some open wheel action this weekend at Silverstone. Let's go.
There we go, mate. It's going to be a big one. Now, we'll get stuck straight into it. Temperature-wise, I think we're going to finally see some cooler conditions. I think we'll be looking at mid to high 20s, sunny, probably a bit of cloud cover. Seems to be that Sunday is going to be the hottest. Pirelli, they come in with the hardest compounds possible, C1, C2, C3. Do you reckon that may force us into more of a one-stopper? What do you see there?
My only fear is it's a sprint weekend, and generally on a sprint weekend, the Sunday races, they've learnt a lot from the sprint. Then they come into Sunday and it's a bit of a, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like not a procession. Like the race will be good. Like there's no doubt the race will be good, but they learn so much from the tyre dig in that sprint race that you don't get the real mixed up strategies. But one practice session, a lot of work to do for a lot of teams, and I think some more questions need to be answered on a couple of others.
I think the interesting points this weekend is Ferrari. There was a lot of euphoria around the Barcelona result, and then quite a lackluster effort out last time in Austria. Red Bull, Max, we saw him fighting again. Can he spoil the UK party this weekend? But before we get into all that, as we do it, team to team, but we have to start off with the constructors' leaders, and that is, of course, Mercedes. You could say it's a home race, quite a home race for a lot of these teams. A lot of the teams are based here or close by the circuit. From an upgrade perspective, it's still quite early in the week, so I'm sure things will change, but it doesn't seem to be that they're bringing any major upgrades. But what we did see last time out in Austria, they are still the dominant team. There was a lot of optimism around that. Perhaps Ferrari has clawed back a lot. Now we've got probably the optimism around Red Bull, how they clawed back a lot. I expect, Mercedes to be epic as ever. Russell, hometown guy, can he get the race win here and go back to back?
Yes. No, I'm not, you know what? I'm not 100% convinced on Russell at the moment, eh? Tyres have not been his strong point. And when you look at the races with Kimi, how much stronger Kimi can be at the end of a stint. Even though it looks like Kimi, man, drives so much more aggressive. Kimi seems to be able to look after his tyres. And I think at the moment that's a part of Russell's racing that he's really struggling with. They don't even need to bring upgrades, do they? Let's be honest. The only way I can see you beating either of them is a failure.
A lot of people were sort of suggesting that Russell's win was a bit shallow last time out in Austria. He got a bit lucky with, the yellow flag. He wasn't dominant.
Or did he just do a Verstappen and understood the rules better than everyone else?
Well, he definitely did that. But I think a lot of people were pointing to the final stint where Verstappen and Antonelli were able to chase him down super quick. But let's not forget, there was a big tyre offset. And when you're out in front like that, you're just controlling the race.
Yeah, you're managing the pace. And I think Kimi needs to relax, eh? Kimi just needs to chill. He got a little bit flustered last time out at the start of the race in Austria. Just relax, because right now he's on pace, if not a little bit faster than Russell at the moment.
Do you think the hometown adds a little bit of pressure on to George Russell to deliver? He's never won here. There's always a first, as they say.
Yeah. Well, yes, I do, because he is in the fastest car. So they are expecting him and Lewis, man. The pressure's on them to deliver, I think, for the hometown crowd. I think the hometown might even give him a little boost. We see what it does to Hamilton, right? So maybe they start cheering George Russell's name. And he might be able to find an extra tenth or two, because right now I still think he needs it.
All right, on to Ferrari. Now, Ferrari, a lot of eyes are going to be on this team again, not just because Lewis Hamilton is gunning for his 10th British Grand Prix win. That's epic. I mean,
that's crazy,
10 race wins, right? Absolutely crazy. But I think most people were expecting a lot more out of Austria. Race pace definitely wasn't there with I think it was a P5 finish in the end for Lewis. Expecting good things from Ferrari. Look, Austria, compared to Silverstone, the tracks are far different. Going to get a lot more lateral load, quick change of directions. I've got to say it, maggots, Beckett's. You got to.
Yeah.
I bet we all can't wait for the British commentators to talk about every corner name at Silverstone. We will definitely get that. But do you think they're going to factor? Do you think Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc have a chance here for a win? Do you think the pace is genuine?
I think Ferrari are going to be in the mix here. Like you said, completely different circuit. Like Lewis, man, is just, even in a bad car here, he's competitive. I don't know what it is. It's just, he can turn it on at his home Grand Prix. He's got a sniff now in a good car. The Ferrari will be mighty here. This is a track for the Ferrari chassis. Oh, Charlie boy, man.
Yeah, this is a big one.
Struggle street.
It's a massive one, because he didn't look super confident out in Austria. Yes, he outqualified Lewis by a very fine margin, but the race pace just wasn't there. I've said it plenty of times, and it's the most obvious thing. Lewis Hamilton is a gun here. He can't afford to get outshone again by Lewis, because if you're looking at the point standings, there is a gap starting to form, and this is, as we get into summer break, the talks of like Ferrari need to back one driver for a potential championship tilt.
This is what we said, right? This is why we thought he needs to deliver in Austria, because, he's come into a track where you thought he was hard to beat before. Wait till this weekend. What is concerning for me is the comments he made after Austria was every single weekend seems to be something wrong, which clearly tells me I don't know what I want from the car. And that is not a good situation to be in. Like we saw his teammate, how much he struggled in the ground effect era. Are we starting to see the Charles Leclerc struggle with whatever era you want to call this?
Yeah, actually, what are we calling this era?
The battery era. The EV era.
Yeah, the battery management era.
Yeah.
Does that mean we have to change the podcast name?
To the battery effect.
The battery effect. Mate, you're onto something, eh? You're definitely onto something there.
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
But it's massive for Charles. It's massive for Charles. I think just not even, mate, forget the points now. Because it's a big chunk now. You just need to, I think, for your own confidence, have a weekend where you can, especially here, if you can beat Lewis, you've done a good job this weekend. Charles is he's a very mental kind of person. So things like that, I think, he has a bad weekend. It really does affect him a lot more. Like you look at Max. Max, perfect example. It was a shit weekend. Brush it off. We start again. It was a shit session. Brush it off. Start again.
Max is just like this the whole time, right? He's just straight line. Yeah. There's no ebb and flows of confidence or anything.
Yeah. Whereas Charles has been in that Ferrari system, and it's a very emotional place to be.
Yeah.
So
same old spaghettis.
Yeah, I think really for this weekend, it's not even about trying to get points back on your teammate or in the championship. I think it's just about trying to beat Lewis Hamilton at home when you know he's going to be super hard to beat. And if you can do that, that'll be a massive, massive confidence boost. And I think at the moment, he just needs some mental confidence. He looks like he's starting to question, can he beat Lewis this year?
Yeah. He just got married recently. That's his downfall.
Idiot.
Just joking. It was just a silly comment before anyone loses their minds.
There's half a second right there.
Yeah, half a second straight away. You need some of that Kim K magic, mate. That's what it is. All right. Speaking of magic, and this team needs a bit of magic, that's McLaren. Quite a promising P4 for Oscar Piastri last time out. Lando had one of those races he wasn't too happy about. Reliability is still plaguing McLaren at times. They're never really getting that full clean weekend, but they need it this week. There's only one practice session. You got to get it right straight off the cuff. Now, they were thinking of bringing the experimental, you could call, rotisserie wing last time out in Austria. It didn't happen. Would we see it in Silverstone with only having one practice session?
I mean, you know what? You probably could, given where they are in the constructors.
Could throw it on one car, I guess.
Well, yeah, but then who? Because imagine if you put it on Lando's car. Lando absolutely cleans up with it. Piastri's just like, not again, man.
Oh, man, I could just see it happen again. And then it'll be like, we go back to like 2025 deja vu.
Yeah.
They're favouring Lando. Hey, well, it is his home race. He won here last year.
Yeah.
So maybe
it's going to be interesting, man, because Oscar was a demon around here last year too, remember?
Yeah.
It was only he got robbed by the FIA. It's going to be super tight between those two, man. And it was really good to see Oscar get the job done in Austria. This is one of those weekends where it's like you get one session and you need to be on it straight away. And I feel like that's where Lando's really good. Like we saw it in Miami, right? Just comes out and lap one, he's just on fire. Lando, man, is driving super, super well, super strong this year. It's just that he's not up the front with George, Kimi and Lewis, so no one's really talking about him, but I think he's driving just as well as he did last year. Lando could be a smoky in pole, man. When the weekend is short, sharp and fast, Lando's good, man. He's quick. So
yeah, he doesn't need to sort of like build into a weekend with 3 practice sessions before being on it. He's sort of like on.
Whereas that's more Oscar's kind of thing, right? He's very good at building into a weekend. Oh, bro, it's going to be tight between those two. And again, if Oscar can get the job done over Norris this weekend, being Norris's home circuit, Lando's got his own stand. So there's going to be little Lamborghinis flying around. The Lando fan club.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be a tough job for Oscar this weekend to get over the top of Lando for sure.
You're right. They could be the smoky. They could be the smoky pick. All right, best of the rest. We're coming into midfield territory, P5 in the constructors right now. Alpine.
Really? Where are you going?
Where am I going?
You skipped one.
Red Bull.
Jeez, you're talking about smokies, and then we went straight to the midfield.
Maybe it's like I've got the McLaren hat on today. I'm talking about smokies. I'm getting too excited about McLaren, and then just completely missed probably one of the hottest teams of the moment due to the upgrade package they bought out in Austria. We finally saw a resurgent Max. He looked pretty hungry.
Yeah,
he had a sniff, but the jury's still out. Because was it track specific? So that is Red Bull. P4.
Thank you for
P4
coming.
in the constructors.
Thank you for coming. We're looking for confirmation. Like you said, is it circuit specific? I think they've certainly closed the gap, but I don't think it's going to be enough to win this weekend. They'll probably go back to being maybe the third best this weekend. It's going to be tight between them and McLaren. I still think Ferrari and Mercedes are still the class of the field.
I don't know. I've got a sneaky little feeling. I think this is actually legit. I think this is a legit upgrade, and they may be. You can't count Max out, mate. You just can't count.
No, you can never count Max out. What I did like though is that the pace that they had in Austria at that circuit was 100% genuine. If they can confirm these upgrades are good here, boy, oh boy, man, we are heading in for an absolute stonker to the rest of the season.
Yeah, well, we might get a similar repeat of 2025, back half of the season when Red Bull became absolutely monstrous. My only concern is we haven't really seen any big major upgrades from Mercedes.
Yeah. Well, not since Canada anyway, right?
Yeah, and
I think they are holding back, aren't they? I think the report is they're holding back to bring one big package rather than the little small ones.
Incrementals, yeah.
Yeah, so, but boy, man, if Red Bull turn it on this weekend, Ferrari need to look out. Mercedes need to keep an eye on the mirrors because, yeah, you give Max half a sniff, he's coming.
We might get a bit of an epic throwback between Hamilton and Verstappen battling on the Silverstone circuit. Wind back the years. I make it sound like it was so long ago, but it really wasn't.
But
yeah, there were glimpses in Austria, which was pretty cool.
I'd like to see Verstappen make a pass without dive bombing and just throwing it up the inside. And just because you get to the apex first.
Oh, here we go. Big call.
Yeah.
Max fans, get in the comments.
Yeah.
Put Mick back in his place.
Well, I mean, he's proven it already this year, hasn't he? I love Max, man, and you give him half a sniff, boy, oh boy, is he going to be entertaining to watch.
Well, my only concern with Red Bull is they have a bit of a habit coming out on Friday off the pace, in trouble. Sprint race weekend, they haven't got much time to get it right. So those guys back at the factory on the simulators better do a good job, because if you don't, mate, our hands are up next in line. We'll give it a crack. I've got a simulator. Look, mate, I've got a race rig behind me. Clearly, I know what I'm doing. Kind of. Not really particularly. All right. Before I got excited, I did mention Alpine, P5 in the championship, or constructors. They weren't able to replicate what they did in Barcelona, turn around and bring out good race pace. Austria, it was, went missing. In Austria, they did bring some front wing end plates, nose, front corner, and diffuser winglet. So the suggestion is maybe that will give them a bit of a boost as far as front end. Silverstone, the quick change of direction through Magus and Beckett's, maybe that is where their power is.
But how good were they in Barcelona? Remember, they were nowhere on the Friday.
Well, they're nowhere on the Saturday, really.
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, and then turned it around.
Yeah,
and the race,
they were clear best of the rest. Race pace was.
I mentioned it before. I think they've got a really, really strong base package, and I think they'll go all right here. I did put the mockers on Pierre Gasly going since the upgrades. Oh, he hasn't looked as good, but he's back. He's
returning to his standard.
Yeah, to being ahead of his teammate Franco. Franco's had a couple of shockers now. He needs to return to some form, and I think maybe Silverstone might be the circuit for that. I think they'll be in the hunt for a point or two, for sure.
So now their main rivals for P5 and the constructors, and that's Racing Bulls. They were able to get double points out last time. Things may be getting a little bit spicy over there between Lindblad and Lawson. There was a little bit of spice out in Austria on the radio, but I think everything is patched up by now. But they were close. Race pace, they were pretty close. Liam is doing a good job, consistently bagging points. Lindblad's not too far behind him. I don't think they'll have the clear best of the rest this week because of what you mentioned in regards to Alpine, but definitely fighting for points.
What I've really liked, man, is just how consistent they've been now for a period. Well, at least the last three races, man, they've been the best of the rest. So if they can continue that, like you said, got a bit heated on the radio, but you know what? That's good, man. That's what you want. That's good for the team because that just pushes both drivers to another level, which then pushes the team and the team to continue, man, just to be super consistent because right now they are looking the best of the rest, just based purely on consistency. I mentioned it. Alan Permain said was it Barcelona? They had put a lot of emphasis on fixing the high-speed deficiencies that they had again, we'll get confirmation of that if they really have got on top of that. I'm expecting them to be fighting, both cars to be fighting for points, for sure.
Yeah, what I liked about them, and Alan Permain he mentioned this regarding, so Barcelona, they were quick on the one-lap stuff. Race pace was really wasn't good. And he did mention that they figured out what that problem was, and then we did see it in Austria. They did the same thing. Qualifying was good, but the race pace was stellar as well. So, yeah, I think based on that, they are definitely heading in the right direction, and they will. Well, at this stage, that fight for P5 and the constructors is just only going to heat up. So I think it'll be a really good battle between Racing Bulls and Alpine this week.
Lindblad, man, how good's he going, man?
Yeah, well, he should take a lot of confidence out. This is his first home race as well.
Yeah, and he's got I think he's got a cool helmet livery for this weekend.
Yes. Yep.
Was it his drawing or someone had drawn it for him?
I'm not entirally sure, but I did see a little headline regarding that he has a special lid for his home
with
race.
The dream big, my path, my way.
Yeah.
The hand drawn kid's picture on it.
So they're looking good over at Racing Bulls, and
they got to be super happy.
Yeah, they do. Two guys that are really competitive. I know this is a team that disappoints you or has disappointed you a lot lately. That is Haas P7 in the Constructors' Championship. They, same old story. The upgrades they bought a while back, they just haven't been able to extract the maximum out of it. Behrman pretty much mentioned that they're still trying to get their head around it. Sounding like a broken record, it's really all about Behrman versus Ocon. Ocon is really fighting for his career. Behrman, home race, I'm sure he'll have he's not going to make that same mistake again, right?
Yeah, he's not going to have his that wild ride into the pits. Look, for me, man, not much to say about Haas, except I'm starting to put them in with Williams as disappointing. Just the way they started the season and the trajectory they're going. Behrman's just extracting the most out of what he's got. Ocon, he fell out of the boat and the boat's driving up the road and he's waving his hands in the air for someone to come and the chopper's flying over the top. No one's coming to help him. I think he's cooked, man. This regulation has not been his friend, and he mate, with all the talk that's coming out at the moment, summer's going to be very interesting for him, and it's rinse and repeat for them. Behrman's just going to dominate him. He's going to beat him in every session, make him look ordinary, and Ocon will have some bad luck in qualifying and he'll qualify down the back somewhere and it'll be rinse and repeat.
All right, on to Audi. Well,
man.
I would say, look, last time out, Austria was pretty decent. I mean, it was a P11, P12 finish, Bortoleto getting over Hulkenberg. The race pace wasn't quite there with the Racing Bulls. The good news was they had a clean weekend. Reliability has been a massive issue. I think they could also be a little bit of a smoky for, that midfield battle, maybe on the cusp of Q3 appearance, top 10 maybe.
Audi, where Audi is it's just, that's where they are, right? If you're going to go say anything about it, at least they're there in that same spot more often than not. And the good thing is with that is where they are. The next step is they're going to be double points every weekend. Once they can get that step to work and everything starts to click for them, they're on the cusp of being the best of the rest every weekend.
Yeah, I expect fortunes to change. And, when you're looking at the points, Audi, and I've mentioned this plenty of times, only 2 points in the constructors on the back of Bortoleto. But realistically, the pace in that car, Audi's better than Williams.
Oh,
Williams has 11 points, right? So,
yeah,
I'm sure their luck will change. Now, speaking of, mate, I skipped Williams. The disrespect. I went from Haas to Audi, didn't I?
The disrespect.
It was a subconscious disrespect of Williams. P8 for the constructors.
Do we really need to give them respect this year?
Well,
from what they delivered?
Yeah, there was a lot of expectations over there, Williams.
Man, I was expecting massive things, let's be honest. All the talk out of Williams HQ and then to deliver what they've delivered, yeah, I don't mind if we skip them.
Well, I think the big news coming out of Williams is there is a special Union Jack-inspired livery. There's a home race for Williams. So
Don't worry about the livery. Get the weight off the car.
yeah, they definitely need to start bringing some massive performance gains over the next.
Well, that's going to come. That's coming summer break, right? So probably maybe Hungary, Belgium time. A very fast driver in Carlos Sainz, who's sitting there and looking at teams like Alpine. You could even say Audi when they're reliable. How long is he willing to wait? Vowles has come out and said, both drivers are keen to sign. We're keen to keep them. At the end of the day, mate, if you're not delivering a car, every driver wants to win.
Well, I think at this point, it's really Sainz. He's the guy that has market value with other teams. I think teams want Carlos. Albon has been pretty cold since, you could say, mid-season last year, and he just really hasn't.
Last year,
he just hasn't really quite got it back. So I guess that's another factoring point to look at into Williams is the inter-team battle because, even though it was a double Q1 elimination for both Sainz and Albon, Sainz was clearly the quicker of the two by a bit of a margin again. So, Alex, this is a bit of a de facto race for Alex. You could consider him British, even though he races under the Thai flag.
Yeah.
He needs it. I know, we sound like a broken record. He needs to turn it around.
But he does. He does, right? He
simply does.
You're in a position now where you need to beat your teammate.
He's lucky that Williams aren't really competitive and it's not in that light, because if they were fighting for points and Carlos was consistently picking up points.
He'd be a world of hurt, man. If that car was where they was last year, especially at the back end of last year, the pressure would be massive. And to be fair, he probably might not even get a contract extension.
The weird thing with Alex Albon is there hasn't really been any speculation regarding his future, or there hasn't really been any outside
noise
yet about his form, which I do find a bit interesting because it hasn't been great.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, it hasn't been great. So come on, Alex, turn it around. We love you, mate.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we know how good he can be.
We want you there. We want you to do good, man. But, don't do the same. Like you're starting to get into that same tier as Ocon here.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's a dangerous tier to be in. All right. Moving on to the perennial backmarkers. Aston Martin with one lone point. P10 in the constructors. Same old. Get the cars home. Get the laps in. Just another extended testing session. The news still is that we're not going to see anything big until Belgium.
Yeah.
Is that good with you? We move on?
Yeah. I think we just say Aston Martin, Cadillac, and into predictions because honestly.
Well, moving into Cadillac, see, the Cadillac's a little bit different because they did bring they bought massive upgrades in Austria, and in all honesty,
it went up.
Bottas it did. It literally did. But if you look at FP1 pace. Their pace wasn't too bad. I know you can't take too much out of FP1 times.
Yeah.
But Bottas had some pretty competitive times in relation to the midfield.
When they bring the upgrades, the correlation between sim and circuit seems to be pretty spot on. Like it's pretty close. And that's a good thing. Because when you're looking at teams maybe like Red Bull who struggle a little bit with correlation, especially beginning at the start of the year, seems to be a bit of a trend with them. Williams, apart from catching fire all the time, the more time you spend on track, man, the faster you're going to get.
Well, they just need to finish a race, get the laps under their belt. They've got plenty of opportunities. Obviously, one practice session to get it right, and then hopefully get on top of clearly they've got the issues with the brake overheating, and then there were a lot of issues. Would you put money on
the brake overheating happening again this weekend?
Oh, mate, what's that, 3 races in a row? Yeah, it's good bet, good odds.
Yeah.
But they also had the issue with, I think, the ride height and the floor scraping and that type of stuff.
It feels like they've been around for 2 years already, but they've only been around, maybe 12 months now?
8 race weekends, mate.
Yeah, so, you can forgive them for having a fiery time, I guess you could say.
Well, to be honest, they're the only team I forgive on the grid for this year.
Yeah,
because I definitely don't forgive Aston Martin and Williams.
100% no.
All right. Well, I think that wraps up team to team. I think, yes, clearly there's going to be more upgrades that will come, especially with a lot of these teams with their home base just down the road. So logistics-wise, you'd think it's quite an easy delivery to get stuff to the circuit. Which leads me on to the shill.
The shill.
Help us.
Shill o'clock.
Yeah. Help us get enough points by season's end. And by points, I mean 1,000 subscribers by the end. So if you have made it this far, do you like the content, please give us the support. It is greatly appreciated. Thumbs up and all that good stuff. And moving on to the most important segment between us, because it really is the biggest competition in the world.
The inter-team battle.
The inter-team battle of the predictions. And I managed to pull another 2 points ahead last week. 7-4 in the standings. Who's your pole guy, mate? Who is your pole? Oh, mate, we've got a sprint race weekend, which makes even things more difficult. How are we going to do it? Oh, we're just going to have to do it for both. Go, nail it.
Well, we normally do sprint pole, right? So we
normally sprint pole.
Sprint pole and sprint winner, and then we do pole and then podium.
Yeah, let's do it like that. Sprint pole, sprint winner.
Oh, this is tough because I want to vote with my heart and go, Lewis is going to smash everyone this weekend. But I'm not 100% sure. You know what? I'm going to go George. Man. And I reckon... Oh, see, I don't know, eh? All right, I'll do it this way. I'll go George for sprint.
Pole.
Sprint pole. George to win. Sprint race. Kimi for pole for Sunday's race. And my podium is going to be Lewis, Kimi, George.
You are hoping for that 10th win, aren't you?
Yeah.
You are gunning for the 10th.
I'm gunning for the 10th.
All right, so for the sprint race pole, Kimi Antonelli. For the sprint race win, Max Verstappen. For this feature race pole, I am going to go with George Russell, and the podium is going to be George Russell, Kimi Antonelli, Lewis Hamilton, third. So we'll just roll with that, see how we go. Generally speaking, the predictions are not so good. So good. So I think we'll close it up. We'll end up giving you the final thought. I missed your final thought from the last episode. One thing we did forget to mention last year, we did get Hulkenberg's podium.
Oh, so yes.
That was the big talking point last year.
That was I don't know how we didn't mention that because that was one of the highlights of the season last year.
It was. It was massive. Do we get any storylines this year? Final thoughts, Mick. Go for it, mate.
Are we going to get a hometown hero? Are we going to get something unexpected? I think Red Bull are back. I'm going to put that out there now. And I think it's troubling times for the teams ahead. But Lewis Hamilton to get his 10th.
Quick one. I know it's the final thought. Red Bull are back, but did you even mention Max in any of your predictions?
No, but I think they are going to be back. I think they're going to be
fair enough.
Going to be in the mix. But this weekend, it's going to be George and Lewis's weekend. So we are going to get a hometown hero, basically.
Okay, answered the question.
Yeah. So until then, we'll catch you in the next one.
Catch up.